Joseph Busha, the CEO of JM Busha Investment Group, joins me now to discuss the latest market movements. As always, Mr. Busha, many thanks for your time today. Let's start with the overall market. I think the more interesting story here for me is the rand, which fell back below 15 rand against the US dollar. What did you make of today's trading day?
Well, certainly, I think there's a little bit of volatility coming in through there. The rand now falling below 15 rand to the US dollar. It's really just strengthened almost 1% across the major currencies, which is your euro, the pound, and the dollar itself at about 14.96. Just some few minutes ago. So certainly, I think the SA economy has really been very resilient, given the challenges we've been facing, given also the COVID. The unrest that happened. So it has been very supportive of the numbers we've been seeing, in particular in our resource stocks listed on the JSE, which has benefited hugely, from the market. Today, flat, as you said, driven a little bit by Naspers, up 3%. We also saw Absa, the only financial stock that is positive today. So certainly, I think, the market is just taking a bit of a breather. We had 2 days of gains after some few losses last week.
Right. There's a couple of company news that I want to discuss with you, and I want to start with Massmart, which you described earlier as the newsmaker over the last few weeks, and indeed it has. This time announcing that it's going to be buying online shopping platform or e-commerce platform OneCart. I mean, so they get rid of the cash and carry businesses, and then they focus more on the e-commerce. They had indicated this would be part of their strategy. Your thoughts on the move? Did it come at a late stage, or are they doing things, in an efficient time?
So I guess Walmart is they are controlling a shareholder. They came into South Africa, obviously buying some of the South African assets. But if you have to look at it in the sense that, everybody's going into e-commerce. They've been battling with some of retailers in SA, Game, Rhino, Cambridge Foods, which they are selling, that have been bought now by ShopRite for about 1.3 billion. So I think they're just moving into efficiency and online, given the fact that that's their future. And this is very prevalent in the developed world, where everybody has gone into e-commerce to be able to improve margins. So I think the money they're going to get into, by liquidating some of the non-performing assets or non-core assets, they call them, which is, as I said to you, Cambridge, Rhino, Mashfresh, and Game, which they did get rid of last year. Then they're going to buy into OneCart. They already have some shares, but they want to buy a controlling stake onto that. So really, it's just a trading platform, but also it's used for logistics, which is really might be cheaper in terms of their distribution. So it's a smart move, because I think some of those assets they've been getting rid of have been basically losing money. And you saw that ShopRite also is getting rid of some of their South African stores in Kenya, and other African countries, to be able to focus on SA, which generates about 80% of their revenue.
Right, and then Santam, they're releasing a trading statement today indicating that earnings will have improved for the reporting period, but still indicating that the trading environment in South Africa continues to be a difficult one.
It's still very tough for them, despite the fact that they're reporting about 20 to 40% earnings growth and headline earnings. Certainly, they're still saying, we're facing a very difficult environment. The earnings were basically hit by, impairment they did in one of their investments. So I think, until the COVID and vaccines are found and the rate of infection in South Africa decreases, most of the insurers are going to be facing some few, impairments and certainly more provisions than they have accommodated in the past, to just make sure that they've got enough funds to pay claims that might come later.
Mr. Busha, as always, thanks for your time this evening. That is Joseph Busha, who's the Chief Executive of JM Busha Investment Group.